Hello world, welcome to a new video in this channel, Luis of Ecuador. I am Luis, and in this channel I provide news, I share news, and I try to explain a little bit of what's happening in Ecuador. I sometimes make analysis, sometimes I just share, and this time I have some articles to share with you and also one important piece of news, because we're in a state of emergency and we have a curfew, but this curfew will be changed due to analysis. Not all areas are dangerous, some areas are safer than others, and some areas are super safe, so the curfew will change depending on the area. And we're going to talk about that in a moment. First, before continuing, please remember to subscribe, leave your comment, I read that, what you would like for future videos. If you have questions, make them. If it is an easy thing, I will answer it, but I will also make soon a questions and answers video so that we talk about the things that you have commented. Please comment, subscribe again, because that also helps engage so that maybe I can increase the value on these videos by getting some profit. Okay, first we will start with the website of the US Department of State for travelers, travel.state.gov. You can also check the UK travel advisory in Ecuador, Canada travel advisory in Ecuador. They try to be updated, and this is updated. It says June 22, 2023, but below we will see information that they have about areas. What is this about the travel advisory? I mean, this is for you not to believe only what I say, but what the government says. Like, if you're a US citizen traveling to this country, be careful about this. It's not me, it's the US government. Travel advisories levels: 1, exercise normal precautions. That's like Spain, France, all of Central Europe, Canada, normal. 2, exercise increased caution. You have to be more careful. 3, reconsider travel. And 4, do not travel. Even if you're a US citizen and we have an embassy or consulate in this country, we want to be able to do too much for you if something happens to you, because it's dangerous. So, Ecuador, overall, it is level 2, exercise increased caution. Not all of Ecuador is level 2. Some areas are 3 and some areas are 4. We'll see that below. They say exercise increased caution in Ecuador due to civil unrest, crime and kidnapping. Some areas have increased risk. Read the entire travel advisory. You can read this by yourselves. I won't read it. It would make the video too long. Do not travel to, explicitly, do not travel to Guayaquil, south of Portete de Tarqui Avenue, due to crime. The cities of Huaquillas and Arenillas in the province of El Oro due to crime. This is in the southern border of Ecuador with Peru, in the coastal region. The cities of Quevedo, Quinsaloma, and Pueblo Viejo in the province of Los Rios due to crime. Esmeraldas City and all areas north of Esmeraldas City in Esmeraldas province due to crime. Guayaquil has some tourism, but not south of Portete de Tarqui Avenue. It's just like one area near the terminal, near the airport, called Malecón Avenue 9 de Octubre, and you can be there during the day without any big issue. It's a very commercial area, but if you're not sure, simply don't go. Anyways, it's a very short area in Guayaquil. That's just if you will be there for a few hours, but hopefully we can recover that. Esmeraldas is beautiful also, and all areas north of Esmeraldas City, Esmeraldas province, there are many beautiful beaches, and around there are beautiful jungles, manglers. Hopefully we can talk about that in maybe 1 year without being worried of being there. Country summary. Crime is a widespread problem in Ecuador. Violent crime such as murder, assault, kidnapping, and armed robbery is prevalent and widespread. The rate of violent crime is significantly higher in areas where transnational criminal organizations are concentrated. Demonstrations occur frequently throughout the country, usually motivated by political and economic factors. Demonstrators routinely block local roads and major highways, often without prior notice. Past demonstrations have varied in duration, with some extending for several days or weeks. Blocked roads may significantly reduce access to public transportation, health services, and airports, and may disrupt travel both within and between cities. If you follow me from some time ago, you know this is a reference to the paros, these demonstrations that block entire roads and main roads in the country for days. Outside of Ecuador's urban and semi-urban population centers, much of the country's territory is sparsely populated and isolated. First responders and U.S. government officials' access to rural and remote regions of the country is often extremely limited and can lead to significant delays in assistance to U.S. citizens in these areas. Read the country information page for additional information traveling to Ecuador. If you decide to travel to Ecuador, well, they give you some other things that you should do. You can do that if you're planning your travel. Level 4, do not travel. Again, do not travel. Guayaquil, south of Turkey Avenue, cities of Joaquin and Arenas in the province of El Oro, cities of Quevedo, Quinsaloma, and Pueblo Viejo in Los Rios, Esmeraldas City, and all north of Esmeraldas. Transnational criminal groups and local gangs regularly engage in violent criminal acts. It's basically the same. They are talking about these areas, basically. Violence in these areas has steadily increased in frequency and brutality in recent months, posing an increased security risk to U.S. citizens. U.S. government personnel are prohibited from traveling to these areas without prior authorization. It's a serious thing. As a result, the U.S. government is limited in its ability to provide emergency service to U.S. citizens in these areas. Reconsider travel. It's areas surrounding the other areas, except for these, the provinces of Sucumbíos, Manabí, Santa Elena, and Santo Domingo due to crime. Sucumbíos is northern Amazon, the northern Amazon region of Ecuador, which is northeast of the country. Manabí, one popular city here is Manta, which is very touristic. It's kind of complicated lately, but I would say that if you take some measures, you can be there without any big concern or issue. Santa Elena, Santo Domingo due to crime. Santa Elena is also tourist, but yeah, wait until the situation improves. And Santo Domingo, nothing to tourists in the city of Santo Domingo. And outside, yes, but again, better reconsider for the moment. And you can visit a website about traveling to high-risk areas. Well, this is something you should read if you're planning to travel here. Also check the UK Travel Advisory in Ecuador, Canada Travel Advisory in Ecuador. Something became viral when the attack on the TV station exploded and US airlines canceled flights to Ecuador amid rising gun violence. Airlines cutting off access to Ecuador after armed men stormed a television broadcast. This happened. And 30,000 views, 34,000 views. But, well, the airlines, yes. It was actually like 3, JetBlue, American Airlines, I don't recall if another. They canceled flights. Avianca also canceled some flights from Bogota. And not all flights. Some flights of Avianca were still working. But this was only like for 3-4 days. Then all flights were resumed. And no one talked about that. What is the source? Where can you watch the flights? Well, for Guayaquil, you can use taxa.aero. And you can see the vuelos, arribos internacionales, international arrivals. Landed, estimated in itinerary means on time. Cancelled, itinerary cancelled. There are only 2 flights that are canceled. And what are these flights? Are Copa Airlines from Panama. This airline has been rescheduling several flights because they had in other destinations these MAX planes that suffered, one of the MAX planes suffered a problem in Alaska, like when they were about to fly or flying. The door simply detached, the door opened, and it was a serious thing. So the planes of this brand, of this model, had to be taken off the market, like they couldn't work. Copa Airlines had a lot of these planes, so now they have to reschedule, cancel itineraries, cancel flights here to take the planes. Well, it's an issue. But if you see, Copa has Panama, canceled this one, but Copa Airlines Panama in the afternoon, delayed, but not canceled. It's coming. Copa Airlines Panama landed 11:26. Copa Airlines Panama 1:31 landed. And I mean, it's the same airline, it's the same city. So it's not that they canceled due to safety reasons because of the situation in Ecuador. It's safety reasons due to the planes in other places that they were using. And it's a mess. Hopefully they can solve that quickly. And for Quito, you have Keyport, Aeropuerto Internacional de Quito, aeropuertoquito.aero. And you can watch the flights to international. These are international arrivals. Copa Panama canceled, but the rest arrive. Aeromexico, Mexico canceled. Why? I don't know this one, really. But I would say it's not because the flights from Mexico have been canceled. Because you have this one, for example, Mexico on time. It would say cancel if it was a thing that they decided to make for the days normally now. Panama on time. Landed. The thing is, Flights are working normally. What does it mean? We are not at war. It's not like a humanitarian crisis or something happening here that can impede normal life. Yes, exercise increased caution, but it's not like don't come here. Next thing, there was this news about who are obligated to deliver criminal background check to enter Ecuador. The migration director in Carchi, this is in the border with Colombia in the north of Ecuador, explained that after issuance of the agreement or after issuance of the order of the president, the influx of foreign visitors through the north has been reduced. But well, who has to show the criminal background check? Basically now, to enter Ecuador through a land border, that is, through Colombia or through Peru, by land, not by air, again, by land, by car, by bus, by foot, whatever, you have to present a criminal background check if you're a foreigner, but there are exceptions. And we can read that here. 1, it will be of mandatory compliance, the submission of the criminal background check for all the citizens, foreign citizens that enter the country through land borders and rivers with Colombia and Peru, not by air. 2, criminal background check of the country of origin or residency during the last 5 years will need to be duly apostilled and submitted in Spanish. So if the certificate is issued in another language, it has to be translated to Spanish. Translation must be duly legalized apostille. 3, in the case of a foreign person shows the criminal background check duly apostilled, in which the person does have criminal record, it will be verified if the person is involved in situations set by the Human Mobility Law of Ecuador. 4, in the case of the person not showing the criminal background check in the migratory controls, border patrols, in the above mentioned borders, Peru and Colombia, this will be enough reason for the process of unadmission set by the Human Mobility Law. 5, the people who will be exempt of submitting the criminal background check are those that have a visa granted by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Human Mobility, aka Immigration Ministry, Ministerio de Relaciones Exteriores y Movilidad Humana, that could have been abroad through a consulate or that could have been here. Why? Because you already had to show a criminal background check for getting a visa from these people. B, those that request the entrance, well, those that do not really apply to you. Those are more for local people. Teenagers, minors. In Ecuador, minor people are people under 18 years old. D, those that enter as a short visitor or transeunte, which is only to cross the country. This is a special visa, like for only 3 days. Those that have diplomatic, official, service passport. And F, for people who live basically in the borders. G, victims of human trafficking, that is according to a special process. And H, the requesters of international protection. This is basically how it works. So if you're a resident here, you wouldn't need this. This may be updated, this may be changed, but that's the last news or the latest news we have had. Next point, the US Embassy in Ecuador is working normally. They suspended services the week of the attack on the TV station. They said 11th and 12th of January 2024, due to the situation, they had to reschedule appointments, they canceled, they rescheduled, but after that, everything worked well. And today, it's working well, which leads us to the next article. This is officially the U.S. Embassy and Consular in Ecuador website, ec.usembassy.gov. Special Presidential Advisor for the Americas, Christopher Dodd, and U.S. delegation will visit Ecuador to strengthen security cooperation. U.S. Army General Laura Richardson and Deputy Assistant Secretary of the Bureau of Counter-Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs, Christopher Landberg, are part of the U.S. delegation that will visit the country. This was written on January 21, 2024. Special Presidential Advisor for the Americas, Christopher Dodd, will lead a U.S. government delegation that will visit Ecuador between January 22 and 2025. We are today 23. They are here. They arrived yesterday. It's kind of big news because that means like the U.S. wants to support Ecuador in this fight. Many people say, oh, okay, the U.S. doesn't want anything for free, so be careful. But we'll see. I mean, we need help at this moment. That's a fact. The delegation comprised of the commander of U.S. Southern Command, Army General Laura Richardson, Deputy Assistant, blah, 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 will visit Ecuador to listen and consider options to accelerate bilateral security cooperation and discuss collaborative approaches to confront the threats posed by transnational criminal organizations. So that's basically what they're doing here. They're coming to talk with the people here in charge to help them to see what they can coordinate in this fight against the criminal gangs. So let's see. They still have 2 more days here left. We'll see if we get some more news about it. But the thing is that the current government wants to have a good relationship with the United States. And most people agree with this because they say, yeah, these people know about how to attack these others. Some say, no, the US just wants to invade. But those are minority. Most people agree with getting all the necessary help, especially from like superpowers in technology, in weapons, and all of that. By the way, we have, I think last night or this morning, received weapons from the US because we will be giving like Russian weapons that one of the former governments bought, and US is going to give new weapons. And they have already started arriving, of course, for the armed forces. You can check the Twitter also of US Embassy Ecuador and check the news about all of these meetings. Many people don't like this, but I wouldn't say they are majority. I would, certainly say they are minority. The thing is that because, for example, the ambassador of the US in Ecuador, he has made strong statements against the judicial system of Ecuador, like saying it is corrupt and many other things, which is actually true, I mean, what he has said. But he's a foreign official, and to many this is inappropriate because he's acting like an officer of the government, or like he had as much power as a government officer here or something. Well, debatable, because it would be difficult to see an Ecuadorian ambassador criticizing the system in the US from the US. Like in New York saying the US is this and that and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, at least what the ambassador of the US, Fitzpatrick, said here, he was right. You can see here more pictures of the meetings held today. We really hope this will be of good help for the country. Other piece of news, most of the people are supporting this current fight of the president against the criminal organizations. And many people in many places of the country organize, like to give food to the armed forces, to the soldiers, water, things. But intelligence services said, do not take them because the gangs will be taking advantage of this for poisoning the food and poisoning soldiers. So the armed forces warned of attempts of poisoning through the donations. So like they basically said, if the people want to donate, they should donate only canned stuff that cannot be opened and resealed. So yes, this is part of the things we have to be careful about. I can leave the link to this article in the description. It's in Spanish, one of my favorite sources, Primicias. And other pieces of news. In Esmeraldas, they locate like a submarine or semi-submarine with drugs valued in $50 million. This is one big hit. And there were 3 guys with 161 sacks with blocks of drugs. This was in Esmeraldas, northwest of Ecuador, near the border with Colombia. And this is because the armed forces are like more active than ever. It's a very good hit, and there have been many good hits lately. This was one of the best. Actually, in like now, January is not ended, and the seizings so far represent like 20% of what was seized during all of 2023, in just 1 month. Again, I'm optimistic. This is all that they seized in that semi-submarine. And it is like a movie thing or a Netflix series. The biggest seizure this week was Sunday in Vinces. And look at this, just look at this. Historical seizure in Vinces. 22 tons of drug located in a farm, in una plantación. Un hombre, a man, blah, 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 identified, was looking after this property where there were 22 tons of cocaine. and they were underground, actually. They were like in a special shelter. Hey, just look at the videos. This is crazy. I mean, they entered this place, then they went down like a small, and they had all of this there. It's just crazy. And there was ammo, weapons, many other things in Vinces. It's a rural area, rural town in the rural area of the coastal region of Ecuador, but like the mafias had a lot of power in this area. This is amazing. I mean, just look at the size of the soldiers, so you can see how huge this is. This is a record hit in Ecuador. In Ecuador, this is they hadn't seized something so big in just one hit. 22 tons of cocaine in 733 sacks. 22 tons, this would be equivalent to 12.5 pickup trucks. And the prices, I mean, the estimated value of this varies a lot. Some say 100 millions, some say 1 billion. It really depends on the market. Like the main markets for this are the USA and Europe. But yeah, this is a big hit. There are people that at this moment must be very angry. And finally, why I'm actually making this video. Please let me know if this video seems too long to you, because I wanted to share with you many pieces of news articles that I thought may be of your interest. But finally, not all of Ecuador is dangerous, and not all of Ecuador has a difficult situation in terms of safety. Many cities, the municipalities, the tourism sector was asking the government to do something, because it's simply illogic that you put in the same level a dangerous city with lots of gangs and a city that has no murders at all and that is very tourist, and where businesses open until midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., but now they can't do anything because of the curfew at 11. So the government, after analyzing, they decided to implement a traffic light system, un sistema de semáforo, una semaforización. What is this traffic light system? Well, there are 3 lights, green, yellow, and red. And depending on the situation of a canton would be equivalent to county, municipality. Depending on the situation of the canton, they will be labeled with a light. Red light for dangerous areas or areas that may be in a complicated situation, not necessarily dangerous, but you have to be extremely cautious, or the government has to be extremely cautious because of what they know. Yellow for medium level, which is like, okay, exercise increased caution. And green, which are areas that are fine. They don't have reports of bad things happening there, or at least not recently, so they're going to have total freedom, no curfew. In the red areas, in the red cantones, it will be alto, which will be from 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. the curfew. From midnight to 5 a.m., no one can be outside. In yellow light, medium, the cantones that are in this category will have a curfew from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. Only 3 hours curfew. We will see how this will advance. And Cuenca is here. So now in Cuenca, the places were closing very early because we had a curfew from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. Now the restaurants, the bars will be able to open at least until 1:30. You will be able to go have a drink, go dancing, whatever. And it's necessary. Cuenca lives a lot on tourism, and at night the places are usually full, especially Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. So many businesses were being affected. Like in tourism now, the situation is difficult. Lots of bookings canceled, tours canceled, many things. But hopefully this will help, because we're not reporting the same situation than other cities. And the green ones don't have curfew at all. Most of the cantones are green. So it was illogic that if most of the country doesn't have any issues, why would they have a curfew from 11 to 5? Even Galapagos was with a curfew from 11 to 5, and nothing happens in Galapagos, only tourism, because this island lives from pure tourism. But now they are in green, so no curfew at all. Cañar, by the way, I wanted to prepare something for Carnival in Cañar, because they have a very beautiful tradition, which is called the light rhyming. and I'm thinking about doing that. So if you're interested in a tour for Carnival from Cuenca and to know the indigenous tradition in Cañar, send an email to info@buildevtours.com so that we can add you to the list to see if we can make it happen. Because Cañar is now in the green. For last year, we went there with a group, and I would like to repeat the experience or try that more people know about the experience of Lalai Raimi this year. So write me or even leave your comment, but the best is that you write an email to info@buildevtours.com so that we can inform you if we're holding this tour or not. Well, just to finish, this is the new schedule for the curfew in Ecuador with the traffic light system, semaforización, green, yellow, and red. And I'm going to leave the link to this article in the description so that you can see all in detail here. And also Primicias posted a map where you can check. See here. Most of the country is now green. That means that it is in low level of risk. Low risk, medium risk, exercise increased caution. And red doesn't mean do not visit this area, but it may be complicated. So yeah, the only tourist areas that are in the red area are a little bit of Lago Agrio, Esmeraldas, as I said at the beginning, Santa Elena Salinas, some areas of Manabí, like Manta, Montecristi, Guayaquil, and hopefully we can recover the country and soon have it all green again. But we are advancing again. The idea of this is reactivating the economy. Imagine that businesses, restaurants, bars have to close at 10:30 because workers have to be at home already at 11, and these bars usually open by 8 p.m., opening 2 hours. That makes no sense. So hopefully this will help. This is the decree. That's the map. I will leave the link in the description. Let me know what you think, if this video was too long. I know it was long, but let me know if it seemed too long. And let me know of your questions. And remember, if you're not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. And if you like the video, give a thumbs up. Thank you very much for watching the video until this point. And also, by the way, you can also subscribe to the Telegram channel if you use Telegram, because I will be sharing more information there that I don't share in other channels. Because Telegram is very easy to use, very handy for commenting and sharing stuff. The link is also in the description of this video. Thank you very much for watching until here. See you in the next video. Bye bye.